We are live, mate.
We're on.
We're on.
Smick.
Guys, change of setup, as you can see here. I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Pater from Smart Yards.
How you going?
Tell us a bit. Tell us a bit about yourself, Andy.
Oh, jeez. I feel like I'm in a B&I meeting, mate.
Yeah, mate, I've just fucking thrown you right in the dick. That's a typical real estate agent.
Love it. I run a gardening business on the peninsula. We specialise in yard cleanups, specifically making people's houses look smick. Our favourite thing is when you've got a disaster of a situation, we just come in and we do a full revamp. Might take a day, might take 2 days, whatever the situation is. That's our bread and butter. But we're a tech-backed gardening business, which is rare. That's why. That's where the smart comes from in Smart Yards. But that's enough about me.
Mate, I would say, no, and in terms of that, I know you're about to talk about the beer and the pizza, that's why we're sitting here. And
I realised I was droning on about myself. That's why I cut myself off.
No, it was really good. No, he's definitely the best at it. We use him on a lot of the properties that we do. He's a gun. He's also one of my best mates, but he is also a previous... Oh, geez, that's a bit mean. Gee, low blow. Maybe I will have this beer to myself then. No, okay, so in a serious sense, what are we doing here? Now, there's a few passions of mine, and I think there's been a few beers over the years that rhymed. That was not intentional, might I add.
After the few.
There's going to be a few more that's going to be consumed. I guess for every viewer out there, I love beer. I love pizza. It's been something I reckon that, mate, we've shared. How long have we known each other now? It's been what? Close to
10 years.
I was going to say 8 or 10 years.
It
was core.
Cool.
So it's a while back. That's a previous business that we used to both work for. And then we ended up doing business together, being business partners. And there's some good stories in that. But the reason we're here, we're going to try this new... Well, it's not new. I feel like I've had this.
This is the beer of the
we're
week.
We're going to call it Beer of the Week. That's a...
Beer of the Week.
Spontaneous. That was perfect.
Do you know what that is though, yeah?
Yeah. That was so... For people in context, Beer of the Week was a place back in Berwick that used to have the beer of the week. They would sell it. What was the place called?
Let's Unwind.
Let's
Unwind.
What a good name for a business. So we've got pizza. What we're going to do today, it's pizza and beers. This is a segment. It's mates chat. It's very different. We're going to have a bit of pizza. That's
Feast
inspired.
of the week.
It's inspired from One Bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the One Bite pizza, guys. So let's taste this. What do we got? The Strapper Australian Lager from St. Andrew's Brewery. Let's try not to spill it everywhere. I'm a shocker with that.
So I picked a Peninsula one because we're both Peninsula boys. That's our thing. That's definitely a common interest we share.
That's different.
It needed to be Peninsula. I chose lager, which is really not a winter beer at all. That's a summer beer. However, I haven't had anything to drink for 30 days, so I didn't want to just dive straight into a pale ale and come home looking like I had triplets.
What do you think of that?
I like it.
What? That's got a lot of It's different.
It's a heavy lager.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty strong. It's like a cross between a lager and a Guinness.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yep.
Like I'm not a Guinness drinker. I don't know if anyone's out there that drinks Guinness, you're crazy.
My brother drinks Guinness.
I love a pale ale or a Pacific ale. I'm Stone and Wood.
Yeah.
What's your favourite beer? What would you say?
Good question. I really run the Mornington Peninsula Pale Ale. I don't frequent it though because pale ales just make you bloat like nuts.
Yeah, I think. I mean, when you're trying to do fitness, all that stuff, beer's not good for it.
Nah. So I typically will just run a lager, like a Carlton Dry or something like that, which is why I gravitated towards this.
In St. Andrews, that's obviously St. Andrews.
Peninsula.
I've been to that brewery.
It's busy is what it is specifically.
I went there, I reckon, about 4 or 5 months back.
There's a golf course across the road as well. It's like near Tutgaruk sort of thing.
Yeah.
St. Andrews.
It's St. Andrews.
Yeah. But there's a golf course there and we played there with Trent and Ninj.
Yeah, we did too.
What's the course?
Oh my god. Eagle Ridge?
Maybe it's Eagle Ridge.
I feel like that's not the one. It's close. But anyway, guys, this is... Okay. We said we weren't going to rate the beers. We literally word for word said we were not going to rate it out of 10. However, my real estate background... You're pretty numbers focused. Oh, we're rating it. I'm going to give it. Yeah, it helps people. Let's be real. People.
I don't know. Anything less than a 7, you're not going to pick it up. We're not allowed to do a 7.
Would I buy this again though?
Well,
Would you
have
buy
done.
it?
Yeah, I have done. I've bought slabs of it.
I like it, but I'm not a huge lager person. This is my issue.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not a major. I wouldn't choose a lager. You saw what I do if I go to a pub. I'll have a pale ale. That's like a preference. From a lager perspective, what other lagers are out there? Like, I don't even know.
Everyone offers a lager.
What the heck does that even mean?
Oh, Carlton Dry. Coopers don't offer a lager.
Okay, Carlton Dry. Yeah, that's true. But
Corona's a lager. That's a really light lager.
That's a light.
We used to call that training beer when we were 18. If you were having a
Corona. What,
oh, because it's so light. It's
do you
like
mean?
anyone that doesn't like beer drinks Corona.
Hmm.
It's like a training beer, you know what I mean?
it's making me burp.
Yeah.
Look, I'd give it. It's hard because I'm not a mate. What would you give it based on the fact that you're a lager
8.2.
drinker? An 8.2. That's big. That's big. Do you have is there one beer?
Go figure. The golf course in St Andrews Beach is called the St Andrews Beach Golf Course.
Okay, now guys, not helpful at all. It just says bon appetit. Enjoy. This is some pizza from a local pizza place down at Slim's in Mount Eliza. They called it, funnily enough, Slim's Pizza. Would you think that's counterproductive to what we're about to do?
Yeah. There's a lot of
Genius.
slim people in there though.
It's a slim pizza though. I think
it
that's
is a
sort
slim
of the
pizza.
thought process behind it. But
Yeah.
guys, I mean, you can clearly see that. That looks absolutely elite. Now, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been sitting, how long would we say this? For about 10, 15?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's tuck into this and tell me what your thoughts are. I want to know your honest review. Honest review, because I'm a big pizza person.
So I feel like it's not a super wood-fire gourmet style 400 gradi style pizza or
No.
dock style pizza. So it's a different echelon to that. It's more your sort of takeaway, but a really nice take on the takeaway pizza, if that makes sense.
Really good way to put it.
Yeah. There's definitely two speeds of pizza, takeaway and wood fire.
Yep.
If you take this away from the wood fire.
It's a blend. It's a cross.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid. You call it a hybrid takeaway wood fire. It is. So, for those out there that really, really know me, they know I love Slim's. Slim's is probably one of the best pizza places I reckon I've been to on the peninsula. There's a few. You've mentioned 400 gradi a few times.
I like gradi and I like dock. We're big fans of dock. My
Okay.
wife and I will go to dock and we'll get a glass of wine and have a pizza each. And we just do that. It's a tradition. You walk in there, the staff are lovely. They're all Italian. It's an Italian deli. It's a thing. And the food's delicious. Service is impeccable. It's awesome. Sorry to throw you under the bus, but 400 gradi service is not the same as docks. It's just not there.
Fucking killing the
Whoever's-
podcast.
Yeah, whoever's running the show there just isn't instilling their staff with the accountability required to run a hospitality joint.
Would you say so? When you go to dock, you can tell it's family. It's family orientated. You get there, they just serve you well. They're happy. They sing for everyone whose birthday it is. You feel
I feel like
you're
I'm at Nonna's
Italian.
joint.
Yeah, Nonna's. Speaking of Nonna's, have you watched the movie Nonna's on Netflix? Okay, you need to do yourself a favor. That's inspired by Vince Vaughn, the guy from I was about to say what's that couples retreat. He stars in it, and he's like an old chef that wants to recreate his nonnas his nonna passes away, and he gets all the recipes and he starts to cook her recipes because he misses the food, and then he gets older retirees who are amazing Italian cooks to go in and be the chefs at Nonna's, and he calls it Nonna's, buys the thing with the money that she left him, and it's just really, really wholesome. But back to it, Doc. Definitely speaking.
I love dock. I love
well.
dock. But don't get me wrong, I really do like 400 gradi. I think they could just pick up their service level. I feel like when I'm in there, I'm pissing them off. You know what I mean? It's like, get your stuff, get out of here quickly. You know what I mean? Whereas gradi and a dock, it's like, no, come sit. Can we get you some tea, coffee, biscuits, anything you want? You know what I mean?
It's more
yeah. It's at you and Nonna's house.
Hospitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful environment. The outside seating's lovely.
The Gradi's is shit. Think about where they're located. I mean, it's not ideal.
Terrace is cooked too. The terrace is falling apart. Yeah. Whatever.
We should not be doing that. This is really poor. Try both. And what do they say? Any publicity is good publicity.
The food's great at Grady, don't get me wrong. Maybe I just went on a bad night, but I don't know. I felt like I was being ignored.
I felt like I went on a bad night after the tangent we've just gone on.
Maybe I went on a bad night.
Fuck. Okay.
Whereas there's never a bad night at Doc.
That is true. Look, I've gone to Doc a fair few times. My family really likes it. I'm a Doppio. Doppio Zero in Murdoch on the cool stores.
I haven't been there in ages. Yeah.
Get around that. That's got some elite food. Like the pizza and the pasta there. And it's reasonable cost. I feel like it's very similar to Doc pricing, but it's not. Like not the same. It's probably a little bit less, I reckon. I could be wrong.
Little known too. Like nobody talks about Doppio.
No, it's
Doc and Grady.
Doc and Grady in Mornington. I think Doppio is just like the little underdog. But like it's hard. It's a hard place to get to and get from. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, Dreamer next door as well. Have you seen the cafe next door, Dreamer?
No.
They do an impeccable coffee. Really, really lovely.
Okay.
Really nice coffee. Rivals Common Folk. I'm a big Common Folk runner. Love Common Folk.
So you're like I for anyone who. So I know Andy, best mates. He knows that he didn't say we're best mates, but we caught up at Common Folk. What? Yeah. Fucking.
It's a one-way street.
Well, yesterday. So we big coffee. What would you? I reckon he's probably the most crazy coffee person I've ever met. Like genuinely, someone who has coffee machines, gets filtered coffee.
Yeah.
He's known by name at like all of the coffee places he goes to. Maybe you're just a nice person. I don't know.
Or a pain in the ass.
One or the other.
I actually asked one of the staff there the other day, like, because she was dobbing in one of the regular customers as being, what did she say?
Oh,
I don't think she said prick, but she basically said he's a prick. And I said, is that what people say about me? Because I'm always in here.
What did she say?
No. Actually, no. She said, yes, that's exactly what we're saying about you.
You garden for Common Folk.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So you've got a vested interest to sit down at that table and have coffee there. So is this what you're saying, that you just sit there and have coffee just because you do the gardening?
No, the real reason is because I have a 2-year-old son, and if I work from home, nothing gets done. We need an office.
This is true. But, I mean, mate, you've grown your team. Talk a bit about Smart Yards. You've got a pretty cool story with that. You started that up in Queensland.
We did.
Queensland, Brisbane, I always get that wrong. Where's your parents from? Where did they move to?
Well, halfway between Brisbane and Gold
that
Coast.
Doesn't help.
Logan. And people from Logan, people who aren't from Logan know Logan is Logan Bogan.
Your parents are so far.
It's a rough area.
From Bogan. How did they
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm not going to say
Glenn Watson?
Glenn what? Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Watson, or maybe it was Leanne. Either Glenn or Leanne used to say about mum, you're my favourite Bogan.
Actually.
Yeah. Think about it. Always lives on farms, bourbon and coke.
Nah, your mum's a big Bogan.
Mum, I love you, but you are definitely a Bogan.
Don't watch this. If you're up to the 13th minute, I hope this doesn't get snipped up into one of those little shorts and we're just talking shit about your mum. That's not the truth. She's lovely. Rebecca, do not hear this. Anyway, back to your Logan story. So you moved up. So Andy moved up. So we were originally business partners. We did a business called Gravitas Projects. Yep. Proprietary Limited, but we called it Gravitas. We specialized in land residential developments. So we would actually package up and find regional development sites that we could then offer to the market on behalf of the owner. And that was fun. And drive competition, try and get the best price. Not a good business when you're running it during COVID. Would you reckon it would be a business that we could run now?
You need money behind you.
Yeah.
Because of the settlement terms, because you're selling farms to developers, they have long settlement terms. So you've got to wait months to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if you're starting a business now and you quit your job. Someone says, no worries, you've got to wait 6 to 12 months to get paid. Well, I don't have that. So you really need 2 years cash behind you.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have. We were 22.
And we were really silly. Like, I think ever since doing my mentorship, a year and a half back, I reckon I've probably had the worst financial. You're either a spender, a saver, or a giver, according to Dave Ramsey. And I think he's correct. I was in the spenders. I was going pretty hard. But I definitely do agree with that. I think in hindsight, lessons from that, I reckon I would probably be a bit more disciplined.
Yeah.
Discipline was, but let's be real, COVID was a really weird time.
Yeah, it was. So we started Grav during COVID, and sort of towards the end of COVID, my folks had moved up to Queensland, and we were winding Gravitas down. We hadn't really had a full conversation yet, but the writing was sort of on the wall. I'd recently got married. Life was starting to pick up. And I was like, fuck, I need to do something here.
Didn't Mon get pregnant?
Not yet. So we
went up to
made
Queensland.
the move to Queensland, and we were like, okay, we're starting our new life in a new state. It takes like 6 to 12 months for people to like have a kid. So we'll start trying this. Anyway, it doesn't take me 6 to 12 months. It takes me 6 to 12 minutes.
Fucking mate, you can't be saying that.
The week we got there, she goes, nah, I won't get in the spa and have a glass of wine. And I literally look at her and I go, you're pregnant? And she goes, yep. And I go, fuck, we have no money. We live with my parents at the moment. We haven't found anywhere to live in Queensland. So I just started pushing a lawnmower like nuts. And the start of Smart Yards is a chaotic start. It was out of fear. It was out of, we got to get this thing going. The name of Smart Yards is I was coming back from Queensland to Victoria, happened to be on a business class flight. So I got shit-faced on the plane.
I remember this, by the way.
No,
like,
I got
remember
shit-faced
seeing messages
on the plane.
at the end of this flight.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I've got to name this business now. And I just grabbed a napkin and wrote a whole bunch of names on it. Came up with Sharp Yards, got off the plane and sharp, because I wanted sharp price, sharp service, and sharp something. Anyway, sharp. I like sharp. So got off the plane and tried to register the domain, and it wasn't available. And at the bottom it said, what about Smart Yards? And I was drunk, so yeah, that'll do. Put my credit card in, and that's why my business is what it is. Because it was the second option, and I was drunk.
You know what's good about that? That's actually a good business name.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a really good business
If you had it done sharp, like anything sharp after, like you got Smart Yards, you could like expand that to like smart, like anything, like anything. Like you could be really creative with that.
I own Smart Cleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you had Sharp Cleans.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
it's still a verb. You know what I mean? I think. Oh dear.
I don't know. We clearly did really well at school.
No. Smart.
Well, I think.
Definition. But that's how it started. And then after 6 months, we worked out we couldn't afford to live in Queensland because everyone had moved up. Literally, it was like $900 a week to rent somewhere, and that's not an exaggeration. In the sticks, we found a granny flat for $600, and the ad just said, no kitchen, but a trip to Kmart would fix that. Like,
wow.
What does that even mean?
That's
a trip
good.
to Kmart? What, are you going to buy a microwave?
Yeah, oven, microwave. That's probably what they do. Air fryer.
Smart's an adjective, not a verb or a noun.
So you heard it here first.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
and then
so
you
Yeah.
You moved back, and then you'd already started
business. Yeah, I knew what I was doing at that point. I've been running it 6 months in Queensland. Started the business, ran it for a year here, and then started hiring staff. Had ups and downs with that. Casually, sort of had some people on here and there, and then I hired my brother full time. That was the first full time staff member, and we hit the ground running. Now we got 5 guys working for us. About to put a 6th on, and yeah.
And I'm just going to cheers you to that.
Thanks, man.
Because I remember there was a photo when you moved down for the start. I remember you were driving. So Andy had an MX-5, a Mazda MX-5 sports car convertible. For those who don't know, you cannot tow anything with that car. I have a sports car, a little Fiat Abarth 124 Spider. You cannot tow anything, or nor can you use that to do any form of gardening whatsoever, or any trade for that matter, unless there's videos out there. But Andy was literally doing that. There's the photo. If you want to push it, put it to the viewers. If you can, move it as close as you can. There we go. So literally, you had the Ford Fiesta Mons, Ford Fiesta. You had the trailer on the back. You had that for how long? Well, I'll let you sit
That was
down.
the setup for a year.
It was the setup for a year.
Yeah.
And now I reckon you've got the three.
With 3 Rangers, I'm test driving a Transit on Saturday. I'd probably buy that.
Yeah,
It's just crazy.
it's pretty cool. It's not about the things, but it's cool to see how professional, and not only that, I think your service is the best. I think that comes from also your background of communication through sales, because I think that you're a lot quicker, mate. I'll sit there, and he'll go to one of our properties and he'll send us a message if it's a vacant home, and send us a message saying he'll be there in X amount of time. I don't think there's any other gardener that's sending that sort of automated stuff. You send a Smart Yards report with like a full before and after, any recommendations, all those things. I think that's unbelievable service. But
I reckon that's what this podcast is going to be about, to be honest with you, is we're 2 young, hungry, driven men, and after this little sub-speech, we're going to get onto what you do a little bit more clearly. We haven't really talked about this, but I reckon a part of what we're going to do is encourage young people who have a dream to get after it. And we're just going to talk about that sort of stuff.
Go and run after it. I think, well, that's... and
You and I call each other like 4 times a day talking about this sort of shit.
Well, we genuinely do. Like, there's things that ups and downs. We also believe in God. We would say we're pretty religious on that sense.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of faith in that. And I think that there's not just factors on the, you can only control so much internally. And I think as a younger self, I guess that's probably one thing that if you had to look at yourself 10 years ago, like I was like, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be financially free. We had some pretty wild,
big
ambitious goals. Yeah. Now, have I hit that? No. Well, I've still got a year and a half, but it's still like, okay, you had some things. What would you have changed? What would you have done a little bit different if you had known back then what to have done? I guess that's probably one thing I reckon
So that's the question. What would you have done differently 10 years ago?
Well, I wasn't asking, but yeah, what would you have done?
What would you have done?
I think I would have stuck at one thing for 10 years, regardless whether you love it or you hate it, you will eventually fall in love with it and you'll find discipline in it, and you will have organically built yourself a very good skill. I've almost started to do that with real estate. I'm starting to see that if I had probably been more content, if you had asked me 3 years ago, do I love what I'm doing? Or when I first started, so I wanted a gap year, straight out of high school, wanted a gap year. My old man taps me on the shoulder, not literally, we're just going to put some mayo on this one. Taps me on the shoulder, not a chance, you're coming and working with me. Meanwhile, might I add, from the age of, I reckon, 13, 14, I was cleaning the toilets of the office. From 14 to 15, I was doing some admin, I would have to process all the call sheets, and then I was doing the videography and all that fun stuff. Now, I wanted a gap year. I wanted to go and figure out what I wanted. I went into real estate straight away. Now, I'd look back and go, imagine if I had just stayed on that trajectory. One, I would not have met the people I have. I would never have met you, would never have met my girlfriend. I would never have met anyone in that matter. So I look and I'm like, okay, clearly God had a plan. He'd written that plan. However, one thing that would be a piece of advice would be stay disciplined, because at the end of the day, you'll find what you love in that thing, unless it's horrible and you've got a ceiling. I do think that if there's a ceiling, there's proverbial ceiling?
Yeah, proverbial ceiling.
Yeah. Well, if there's a ceiling on you, then yes, that's going to be hard to work towards. But if you already know what you want, and maybe it is that you want a house, or you have a family, one of those things, I don't have that yet. You've got a little one. I think after you had a little one, you had to click into gear.
Yeah, it changes something for sure.
You can't just waltz around and go for a beer of the week and go for a cycle and be undisciplined. You actually have a commitment and a discipline to make it happen.
Something happens. Something shifts for sure.
Yeah. So I do think for me, if I could go back 10 years, go and be disciplined at something and keep the consistency, and you'll end up falling in love with it no matter what.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I would not change anything. If I could go back in time and tap myself on the shoulder, I'd say these 3 things. Cash is temporary and it's earned. It comes. Jeez, that's 3 things. Cash comes. Cash comes. That's what I'd say. Cash comes. Reputation's earned. Lessons are forever if you're clever. Wisdom is the most important thing. If you can nail wisdom, if you're a very wise person, and that should be the big striving factor, is wisdom. And then reputation is earned, and it happens over time. And if you're wise, that will influence your reputation. You'll do things like when it goes wrong for a customer, you go, fuck, we'll just give you all the money back. Even if you're going to go broke that week, you can't pay yourself that week, you'll be clever enough to see that the cash really doesn't matter. You just give all the money back. Yeah? And money is the least... I always say to people, you get paid 3 ways: cash, reputation, and lessons. And the cash is the least interesting of the 3 because it's like air, you know what I mean? You just take it for granted. If you have no money, you want lots of money. You get lots of money 2 weeks later. You're not interested in it anymore. In fact, I reckon it's less. I reckon it's 2 hours later. You're not interested in it anymore. It's not that interesting.
When you, I work, for context for everyone to understand a bit more about how the business and everything is run, well, not necessarily run, but in merchant realty, my dad's been in it for 25 years. He's the lead agent. He is the agent that's out in the forefront, and I work in that team with him alongside my mum and our accounts team. So I've been able to see and learn a very good skill set from someone who's been doing it for a long amount of time. I guess the one thing, like you said, and like I know Dad says as well, and it's one thing that's on our end of our proposals, and it's from Proverbs. Reputation is better than good riches. I think it's that's probably not the exact amount of words, but it's and that's to be said. My dad's been in it for 25 years in the same area in Frankston and Frankston South, where he's grown up, where we've lived. Something has to be said for that. And like what you just said, money and chasing the money, even when the money hits your account, I guarantee you, I don't know about you, but a month later, you're like, where's the next? It's not I know it sounds bad, but it's not even you're not grateful. The moments and the things that you're probably going to take are the reputation, or when you hear something that you've done that was so good for someone that then flows on to other people. That's what's more important.
It's just a tool. It's a bit like craving a hammer. Oh, man, I just want a hammer. I just want a hammer. I just want a hammer. You get a hammer. You're not going to spend the next 25 years going, man, I'm so grateful for my hammer. No, you use a hammer and you go, fuck, now I got a hammer. Now I want to drill.
Want to drill?
I want to drill.
What's after a drill?
I want to drill. I want to drill.
But that's what I mean.
I don't know someone else to use the drill for you, I guess.
But so that's what I guess it's a really good point you make. I think that's probably what we can and please, whoever is watching this, I know I say that I've got 59 beautiful subscribers. I love you a lot. Please comment if there's anything that specifically that, how old are you? 26.
28.
28. What? Not 28.
In October. No, I'm 27.
I'm 28. You're 27. Sorry, I always get that wrong. I always think you're 2 years younger. I think we can help a lot of people with that. That's a really cool thing. Now, verdict on the pizza. I need to know.
I ate the whole thing. I've eaten this whole thing on camera now.
I haven't eaten.
Sat here and I ate the entire thing. This is the last pizza. Yeah, I was hungry, man.
Sorry, I just keep fucking talking. Typical real estate agent over here. What's your thought?
What the hell is this? Are you not running the crust? You don't run the crust?
I normally do, to be honest, but just a lot of effort. I feel a bit weird trying to talk and eat. It's hard. I knew I'd stuff this. I think next time what we're going to do, we're going to eat the whole pizza. We're going to keep our thoughts to ourselves. And then we're going to have the last piece for the podcast. Look like fat slobs. And then talk to them.
I'll be honest with you. It's a hard one. So podcasting is all about enunciation and cognition and confidence, yeah?
There's nothing confident about what I'm doing right now. Sorry.
Enunciation and cognition after beers and cheesy pizza. I'll be forever clearing my throat.
Clarity.
It's a shit format, but that's fine. We're going to run it.
And if you don't like it, well, the fucking door's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, to be fair, like, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. Please feel free to leave your to keep your
and if you want
opinion to yourself.
If you put it in the comments. Please feel free. I know I'm opening myself up for that, but
you.
Yep. What about me?
You. We did me. We haven't done you. Who are you? What do you do?
My name's Josh Merchant. I'm in real estate. Well,
I thought you were going to say I've been sober 6 months. You said it like you were at an
from the AA meeting.
Yep.
I should make a joke on that.
You did though.
Just give me a second. No, guys, my name's Josh Merchant. For those who do not know me, I am in real estate. Focus on the areas Frankston and Frankston South. My background, I have a beautiful, beautiful girlfriend named Miss G, or Jana. She's a teacher. Very, very lovely. Grown up from a beautiful family. Mum and dad had me very, very young, the age of 20. Andy's focus and attention when other people talk just goes to the universe. And yeah, no, it's I've been very grateful to watch my family do what they've done, and then now being in the family business as of the last just over close to 3 years. It's been pretty cool to do it with family. There's something about that I've actually really enjoyed doing. Like, I fell in love with that. I think the loyalty and wanting to build something for the future for my siblings as well, and for my parents too. That's been pretty cool as well. And for myself, like, I can't wait to, start a family with my girlfriend and all that fun stuff. So that's very exciting. So that's a bit about me. I love, as I said, love pizza, love beer. I love the gym. Really not good habits to have together.
Good combo.
Horrible combo. And I actually just, I don't know. I just really like this sort of shit. This is fun.
I like it too.
This stuff's cool. I want to grow. I want to get better. That's sort of where I'm at in my life. I think I hit, 26, 27, did my mentorship and literally just went, you know what? I want a better life. I want to, progress myself. I know my values, and just, health, family, all those things are the most important. You can't take your money to the grave. You can pass it on to your family. You can leave a legacy and all that stuff, but I'd rather leave good values. And I'd love to leave some money and assets for my family as well in the meantime. So this is going to be the pursuit of that. And I guess if we can help the next generation and those along the way, I think we have maybe some beliefs that are probably, what would you say?
The pursuit of greatness.
Well, there's a podcast called The Pursuit of Greatness.
Ah, fuck.
You fucking... Do you need another one?
No, I'm still going.
You couldn't? Jeez.
I've been off for 30 days.
Yeah, so let's ask a question. I didn't ChatGPT this at all. Might I jump on ChatGPT? If you're not already,
everything.
Seriously,
everything.
How has that improved your business?
Everything.
So, no. How would you say it's improved your business, like from a day-to-day basis? What do you use it for?
How much film you got in that computer? There's probably not enough hours for me to tell everyone how many things in my business and my life have been improved by ChatGPT.
What about your relationship, if you ask us anything?
Yeah, 100%. The other day, someone said they were struggling in their marriage, and I said, have you put it in ChatGPT yet? And he's like, you weird. He literally said, you weird autistic bloke. And I said, nope, have you put it in ChatGPT yet? It'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you what she's thinking. It'll tell you what you're thinking. It'll tell you, and if you give it more input variables like your childhood information and your ambitions and stuff like that, it'll understand you, and it'll give you a real answer, and you go, oh shit. You know when you talk to your friend and they highlight something, when you're really wound up because you had an argument with your missus, and you say to your best mate, she's this, she's that, she's that, and your mate says, mate, you do this a lot. Didn't think of it like that. Well, that's what ChatGPT is.
Yeah, and it's almost like you don't have to go to your mate and arguably...
You can get it whenever you want. You can get it at 3 o'clock in the morning if you wanted.
Yeah, like you can get it anytime, anywhere, but more or less like you don't feel like a retard. Oh, sorry. Dickhead.
Yeah, you didn't say retard. Anyway.
I've been watching too much Borat. It's not good. It's not good at all. You feel like a dickhead when you do that sort of stuff. But no, ChatGPT, jump on it. What would you say... What was my question going to be before we jumped into ChatGPT? God damn.
Have you got your ChatGPT questions?
Oh, I'm gonna have to bloody bring him up.
Where's
now,
your
aren't
phone?
I had
Oh, your phone's
my phone
filming.
is filming.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, you're right. To answer your question though, while you ruminate on those questions, yeah, you go.
I remember. Sorry to cut you short. You said you haven't drank in 30 days. What made you do that?
I was really burnt out. The business was in a funny spot. We had a lead ingress issue. For those of you playing at home, that means we didn't have enough work. At 5,
I love how you worded that. Pretty much like I don't have enough business.
Yeah, lead ingress issue is a really nice way of saying we fucking sucked and we nearly went out of business.
That's a good way.
Yeah. Basically, I spent like 2-3 months trying to solve the problem the wrong way.
Yep.
Yeah, trying to solve the problem the wrong way, and I worked out that the right way to do it is work on myself and lean on God. And the way I found that out is I put everything that was going on into ChatGPT, and it basically came back to me and said, you're burnt out, you're relying on yourself, you should really be relying on God, these are the things you should be doing instead. And it's like a therapist, literally. And and then at the end, it said, would you like me to help you craft a 30-day plan to turn this around? I went, no worries, let's do that, absolutely. And basically it was 30 days of eating clean, remove dopamigenic intake. So lots of, like I got rid of Instagram, I got rid of drinking alcohol, anything that gave me a quick high. We pulled it out for 30 days. And it helped me reset because I didn't know, but I was burnt out because we ran Gravitas for 2 years unsuccessfully, and then 3 years of trying to get a business off the ground, 5 years of every day to day, trying to defeat the inertia of starting a business takes its toll. So I got ChatGPT to help me craft a plan, and over the last 30 days I haven't drank, and I've changed a lot of things. I've gone to the gym every day, eaten pretty clean, apart from today.
Yeah.
Eating like shit today.
No, and that's actually disappointing. We might have to change this.
Doesn't matter.
This
No,
concept.
because the reality is, what am I going to spend the next... I'm 28 now. I've got another good 65 years. Am I never going to eat pizza and drink beer? Of course I am. So you got to learn to integrate it. Yeah.
We could cut it completely. No, I'm joking. That's unrealistic. No, I completely agree. I think ChatGPT, talk about changing industries and changing the way that we do business. I integrate it for, I'll be real, a lot of my ideas for YouTube, for the podcast. There's a lot of things.
It's a thinking partner.
It really is. You can really use it. I use it for I had a trainer and I had all these programs and all these plans. I imported that into ChatGPT and then said, based on these plans, let's start to build my own plans. I was annoyed because my trainer said, no, he doesn't want to train me anymore because he was taking a back seat on the training side. So I went, well, how do I still have him, but not have him? But ChatGPT definitely does the job. So it's a really, really clever thing.
It's really clever.
Which is good. Now, I've had a mental blank again.
You're right.
Because I wanted to
You should start thinking about yourself as a prompt engineer in anything that you do. And the better you can prompt ChatGPT, the better answer you're going to get. Diary to it. Tell ChatGPT everything. I journal to ChatGPT about my early life, and it's helped me clear up a few things later in life. A bit like you would with a therapist. It wrote all the copy on my website. I would just workshop every line with it, and I would tell it if I wasn't happy with the way it was written, I would say, not good enough. I'd tell it to change the tone. Most of the prompts that I put for writing the copy on my website, I would say, here's what I've written, it sucks. Can you rewrite this in the tone of Apple? Specifically is what I was saying. But if you like a different tone, like you like something more energetic, you could say in the tone of Gary Vaynerchuk.
Anyone that you are inspired by, I'm sure with social media out there nowadays, everyone wants to be a bit like someone else. Find your own individuality. Build, like what Andy said, tell it your childhood, tell it what you want to become like, and then it will start to craft content around that. And that's no different to what I guess you've done, what I've done. And look, we haven't nailed it. It'll be interesting to see how this looks in 5 years from now. No one has. No one ever will. I guess that's the that's kind of the cool concept about it all is like no one has it all figured out. I mean, unless you're God, like let's be real on that one.
Yeah.
But it's very, very, it's an interesting concept. And as I sit here and have like 3 questions looking at me, okay.
We've done the first one.
We've done the first one. And I think, what's up? Actually, you know what? I do want to talk about this. We went into what was 10 years back. And I went into discipline and consistency and all that, those things. I think the one thing that I kind of missed there was belief. You don't believe you can do something.
Do you think that comes a bit later in life? Because I do. Because I've only just unlocked that in the last 6 to 12 months.
Do you think that comes like what you said? Does it come with maturity, or does it come from like almost your case studies? Like I look at it like this, right? So like in real estate, we have case studies like success sales from our past. That's almost like belief based on what you've done. But hold on, if you're trying to become something you've never become before, why are you believing off the basis of what you've done when you've never done what you want to achieve moving forward? So it's a really weird, I get what you're saying. It's a really weird concept. Do you think it's just because over the years when you start to succeed and you start to see further, like you can believe off the back of your successes? Or
well, Alex Hormozi says that confidence comes from evidence.
I do.
And when you're 19, what evidence do you have that you can run a good business?
But if you didn't think that, if you didn't think that, I'm going to counter that. If you didn't think that you, like this is for any young man out there, because I do agree. When I was 18, 19, I had nothing to back me, but then I had nothing to lose. I had everything to gain. So why wouldn't I have that? Why, like, that's, I guess, something to unlock. And it's something that I definitely did. I'm sure you were the same. Did you ever focus on what everyone else was doing?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That would probably be one thing if you can eliminate is fucking delete social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're doing it for business.
That's the only lesson I actually got out of that Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. Is it says in there, mind your own business. And it's not mind your own business. It's mind your own business. Don't look at anyone else's business. I've got a friend that runs a gardening business. We talk. And I very specifically make sure not to let his wins or losses affect the way my mental state is. Focus on your own business.
That's good.
Don't focus on someone else's business. You're a real estate agent.
No, that's fucking hard.
You shouldn't look at
No, do you know how hard that is?
Old mate does. Yeah, it's really hard.
Okay, so think about it like this, right? So I'm in real estate, and my data that I take in for other sellers is comparable sales data. That isn't necessarily all of my data. So I'm looking at the comparison straight away.
That's a really hard one.
It's not easy. But what I'm trying to say is, you can get easily put in the mindset of, oh, that person got this, or that person, and then they lost. You are so right. You got to mind your own business and shut out the noise and look at what you're doing for today. And tomorrow's not a given. Let's be real. We don't know if you've got tomorrow, but all we've got is today and being consistent with that. I think that's the one thing that, hence why I said consistency. I feel like, I've been very inconsistent over my last 10 years. That'd be one thing. If you can flip and ignite into yourself, consistency. But believing brings us to my second question, which we've taken a million years to ask. What's a belief or mindset you've recently outgrown, and what have you replaced it with? Now, quickly tell the viewers, I'm just going to step away and grab.
Oh, that's funny. Because I was going to start with you, but that's all right.
Wait, give it a minute.
So my challenge is there's actually so many. There's so many. The hard one is, and I heard someone say this to me the other day. Thanks, mate. Someone said this to me the other day. Your business is always working. If it's not working for you, it's working on you. And what that means is, when you are not making money, you are getting forged by your business. You are learning so much so that you can become the sort of man or woman that can run $1 billion business. If your business is not working for you, it's working on you. If you're not making money, you're learning. The poor roadcaster just copped the spray there. And to be frank, for the last 2 years, every week I think I've learned a new 3 things about myself. Just this week, I learned that I'm completely addicted to momentum. Specifically, I do poorly on the weekend. My family suffer for this, actually. I really struggle on the weekend to not be working. If my wife says, let's have a movie afternoon, we borderline have a fight just because it's a shit show, because I can't sit there and watch a movie. It's just not my thing because I'm addicted to momentum. I even really struggle to play golf, which is something we've started doing a lot of now. We play every week. We play golf.
And good on you. That's a good habit.
Yeah,
It clears your mind. You're not focused on work.
I leave my phone in the car. Yep.
You know, it's one just on the back of that, and I'll let you finish.
Maybe we'll do one of these every week because there's so many.
It's actually really true, because we've talked about this.
You've got to be learning every week.
We've talked about this heavily. Placing your worth on almost your successes or your external
You hit me
wins.
with this week.
Yeah, so because I have noticed in real estate there is a thing where we call time kills deals. I would argue, so the moment we get an offer, right, and that offer drags out. Trust me when I say this, that buyer's going to walk away or buy something else. So we always say, like, time does kill deals. Like, the more time that there's something, you've got to strike while the iron's hot. You can't iron something if it's not hot. Like, it's just fact. The issue is, in real estate, you get the highs are so high. Like, you hear so many, like, an owner will call you over the moon. It's changing their entire life. Like, literally the other week had that happen. And then all of a sudden you won't have a deal for like a week or a week and a half. And it's like, oh, my whole identity's placed in my work. Like, and you're like what you said, you're like, I feel it with my girlfriend. Like, she feels that. I think my family feel that. Like, they can feel the wrath of like, oh, the depletion. And it's like, that is such a dangerous game to play, because one, if I walk in and I'm going out and someone's called me out to sell their property, and I'm walking in with that sort of attitude where I'm placing all of my worth and my need in my external, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. And I think that was one thing that hit me.
You get commission breath. They can smell it.
But it's not even, I wouldn't even call it, it's funny, everyone says it's commission breath. I think it's like, it is easy to do. I think everyone does undervalue that. Like, think about an AFL footballer. Their whole identity is an AFL footballer.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty big. Think about and it's a very ego-driven sort of thing. It's no different to real estate. Real estate's definitely like that. I'm not saying I'm not a huge ego-driven person. I don't think, from people I've met, I don't come across, I might drive a little stupid sports car, but trust me, that's my go-kart that I arguably drive through and send it, but have fun, and I'm responsible on the roads at all times. For anyone who's watching that, look, it's branded. I can't be stupid, but yeah, I just think that like what you said, I think that belief, it's hard to change. I don't know if I've changed it. I can't fully say that I have. I don't know. It's easier said than done.
I find myself learning lessons like that daily. And you don't just realize and then learn. I think you realize and then learn 40% of it. Yeah. And then you fuck it up 41%, fuck it up 48%. And it's just constantly. Yeah.
What do you reckon has been one belief that's really integrated into your life that's made a huge difference over the last 10 years? I reckon I can answer it first if you want.
Go.
I would say one belief would be, one, God, and two, knowing my values. Knowing my values has made a huge difference. I have 9 values, and it's just very clear to me, and I have them in order. And it's super important to me, because if I didn't know them, I wouldn't have based any of my goals from that. I think it's easy to go like what we just talked about, external. Your values come from internal. And for anyone that doesn't know what those values look like, do look into the outside world. Think about people you really admire. Think about people that inspire you. And then from there, go, what values do you reckon they encompass? Because there's probably something in them that you see inside yourself that you really admire, and then put that back onto you. My biggest one is health. As I sit here and have a beer and pizza, but I love family. I love my mates. I love work. I love success. I'm not going to denote that. They are big values of mine. And I think that they're a core driver. And they, off the back of that, there's a lot of goals. I'm surprised I didn't move at all. But yeah, that would be one thing I'd say. Well, two things. God and values. Just get those two down pat. If you're a young 18 to 25, look within, think what values do I want to hold as a person and how can I make the world a little bit better of a place for myself? Because then after that, we'll make the world a better place.
Hit me with the question one more time. I want to make sure I'm answering it correctly.
What's one belief that, what did I say? What's one belief that you've instilled in yourself over the last 10 years that's changed a lot for you?
Sales is actually service. If you outserve everyone, get there quicker, respond quicker, better email, quicker booking, quicker this, better that, better the other thing. If you outserve everyone and when it goes wrong, hey, we're out there this afternoon, are you still not happy? We'll just give all your money back. Sales is service. If you outserve, you win. And also, I don't know if this really answers the question, but in the book of Matthew, it talks about, this is the thing with the stepping out of the boat.
Yeah, I like this.
No, I won't read it. Basically, there's a point at which one of the dudes in the Bible, Paul, anyway, one of the disciples is in the boat, sees Jesus walking in the water, and he goes, mate, I want to do that too. And Jesus goes, no worries, jump out of the boat and just strunder on over, brother. And he gets out of the boat, starts walking, fixes his eyes on Jesus, and he can walk. And the minute he looks at the wind and the waves and the rain, he starts to sink. And then Jesus catches him and basically says, mate, why'd you doubt? Fix your eyes on me, step out of the boat in faith, and we'll be smick. But the minute you start looking at the waves and the wind and the rain, you are fucked.
The doubt.
Yeah, correct.
The fear.
Yeah.
It's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, daily.
So much, bro.
Hourly, I say, step out of the boat in faith and fix your eyes on Jesus.
Arguably, like, literally, you'll get, like, an offer. You have, like, the tiniest little wave here. And you're like, the fucking whole thing's done. This is ruined.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
It's actually okay.
Yeah.
And, like, is it the end of the world? No.
Yep.
Bigger picture. Take a side.
Yep.
Look forward.
Step out of the boat in faith.
Step out of the boat. Have faith.
I've realized recently that every time I try and control something through or freak out, I actually step on God's punchline, if that makes sense. So God's setting this whole thing up, and then I freak out, I run around like a fucking nutcase, and it's probably just a little bit worse than what God actually wanted. Does that make sense?
I agree. So I look at it like this. Sometimes, and like this week, I've definitely done it. Sometimes I'm getting in the way of God. I'm stepping in and being in front of his plan. And he's like, no.
I think this too.
Just stick to the plan.
Yeah.
There's been
I
circumstances.
spend my life getting in God's way, and it's like, fuck, you're stupid.
Like,
get out of the way. Get out of the way.
You are. So it's funny.
Yeah.
Andy asked me to mentor someone for him. I actually suggested it, and Andy was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do that. Not going to mention who. And then half of me that day was like, oh, maybe I can't be bothered. What the fuck?
Yep.
God's clearly put me in that path. Right the path out. It's not about me.
You really want to get involved. If you really unpack it, the reason you doubted is because you have ego. Because you thought it was about you.
Yeah.
Whereas the reality is like God's moving through you.
And to be fair, like I definitely did. Like I definitely flipped it on me going like, oh, what do I have to offer? What can I do? Blah, 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 blah.
Bang.
It's all about me. It's like, whoa, this ain't even about me. There's definitely something on that person's heart that he needs help with that I can help them with. It's like, regardless of what I think I can actually offer, just go and be there. 100%. So don't step in the line or don't take the wheel. Let sometimes go and sow and it will come to you. I do believe that.
100%.
Is there any questions you had for me? I know I've just sent a few questions your way.
I don't have questions. Oh, you sent it in Slack.
I have answers.
My dad tells this story. It's a fantastic story. Here we go.
Do you want any of the pizza?
No, I'm all good.
You sure? 3,000%. Guys, what a pizza mod ad.
It's the story of George Mueller. George Mueller was a Christian evangelist and director of the Ashley Down Orphanage in Bristol, England. He was one of the founders of the Plymouth Brethren movement. Later during the split, his group was called blah, 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 blah. He cared for 10,000 orphans during his lifetime. Yeah, okay, that's just his achievements. It was It was the 1800s. He was doing his bits and pieces. Died in 1898. And he's famous for hand to mouth running that orphanage. They didn't advertise. They didn't beg. God provided every day. And he would sit the kids down at the table and say, the kids in the orphanage, 10,000 people he was feeding.
I can't sit here and eat my pizza like this.
And he would sit the kids down at the table and say, God's going to provide this meal. We've got no cook, no food, no nothing. They would just sit at the table and just wait. And within 2 minutes, we had some leftover food, hand to mouth. And I actually think at times that's the level of faith we are required to implement in our businesses and I've had it where the next day we had nothing booked. And I'm like, I need to raise $3,000 worth of business now. And 5 o'clock Thursday night, it came. And I was like, heck, $3,000? I can't, Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty...
That's wild.
That's pretty wild.
It's wild.
That's not, you don't... Yeah. I do think that there's... Yeah, that's next level.
It's next level. And that's
so
pretty hard
amazing.
to contend with.
Yeah.
It's earth-shattering, soul-destroying, life-breaking, amazing stuff.
Hence why I sit here and we are very, very bloody blessed when you really give that perspective. We're in a first world country. Look what we get to do.
That story really hit me too. That's big.
Yeah.
Could you imagine turning up to the office on a Saturday going, we've got no authorities, but we're going to show 4 houses today? That's not how that works. But you wouldn't want to step on God's punchline, would you?
No. But it's not even that. It's just how good is our opportunity? For anyone who watches this, you're watching it on a screen.
Yep.
How blessed are we to have this information straight at hand? Yeah.
That's wild.
Or on a computer, whatever it may be. It's we are bloody blessed. I think it's easy to take things for granted. It really is. You hear a story like that, you're like, shit. It makes you very much value that pizza.
Absolutely.
And all those things. What's the 3 mean?
Third question.
I think I asked it.
Did you?
Did I not? I don't think I did.
No, I cut you off for the St. Augustine or whatever his name
I
story.
did not ask you the third question.
What are you doing with that?
Yes.
What are you doing with that? 7-number password?
Do not. I thought you were about
Who's
to
running
repeat
the
that.
7-number password? Oh, sorry. It's not 4 though. What's that?
I don't know.
That's a weird move. That's like a virgin move.
Yeah, I am a virgin.
Josh is a virgin.
I'm a virgin. I don't know why we're talking about this online. We all know this. There's no sex before marriage. If your business or life was already wildly successful in your eyes, Andy, not in the world's or however that looks, what would a day-to-day look like? And what's stopping you from that being your reality today?
It's a really good question. I spend a lot of time thinking about this. I think the answer is I would podcast, and I would do exactly the same thing I'm doing right now in the running of the businesses. I don't do it for money. I do it for wisdom.
You're wildly successful.
Thanks, brother.
Just an FYI.
You?
No, that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool because that's
the only thing I'm not doing right now is podcasting, and finally we're doing it. I've been sitting on it for 12 months, and I've been like, who the fuck is going to podcast with me? And you text me last night saying, should we do something? Right? Absolutely, let's do it.
You'd been pestering me, and then I think I was like, oh yeah, what if we could get this person or this person? I was like, we've got 2 people who want to do it.
You can't do this on your own.
Stop stepping, like what we talk about. Don't waver from the plan. Just make what you've got work, and then things will happen. however it looks.
Entrepreneurship is about jumping out of the plane and building the parachute on the way down.
Fuck me, that's ballsy, but yeah. Let's do it.
It is, man.
Jump
out of the plane. Entrepreneurship is about jumping out of the plane and building the parachute on the way down.
What if you're naked? Like, literally. Then you're fucked. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, then you die. Well, that's a good analogy as well. Like, if you suck, if you've got nothing, and if I started a cookie business, I can't cook, and I'm going to start a biscuit business. I got nothing.
You know what? One day in the near future,
it'd be funny if I'm
going to start a pizza place. It's going to happen. I reckon in about 10 years. Just watch this space. It's going to happen. Under 10 years, I'm going to have a pizza place.
Yeah.
I want a pizza place. It'll be, I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere.
It'll be your mum's house.
Oh, mum's a great cook, so I wouldn't surprise me if she's the chef. You should call it your mum's house. That's a fucking genius idea.
Yeah.
Just don't take that, anyone.
Yeah.
It's already taken.
Probably already exists.
It's already done. Nah, your mum's house.
Yeah.
You reckon that's taken?
Yeah, for sure.
You asked me the same question.
Yeah, wildly successful. What would you do day to day?
I'd have a few kids. I'd love that.
Yep.
I'd love to be able to be contributing to their lives. That's, to be honest, that's it. I think family for me, man. Like, I genuinely, from the moment I was 18, in my yearbook, I wrote that I just want to have kids. That would what would my success looks like. I would love to set them up. Or I think organic in a lot of people. I don't think that's uncommon.
It's a tough one too. How much do you set them up?
I think with good values to begin with. I think from certain ages. I think you remove the distractions and you replace them with. Well, there's always gonna be distractions, but you just give better ones.
I think that
it's easier said than done.
I think that fast money ruins wisdom and reputation.
So that's why I say values. Make them understand the value of money, value of time. I would argue, so my mentor taught me one very important thing. Time is more important than money. Everyone out there's probably heard this saying, Andy, if I offered you $10 million today, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? The answer...
I'm pretty tired. I would fucking do it. I'd be like, finally, I can rest.
You're a fuck. What would the answer be?
No, I wouldn't take it. No, not a chance.
Exactly.
No,
so
not a chance.
You'd want to wake up, be able to see your wife, see Henry. You would want to do those things. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Like, that's genuinely, time is more important. With that asset in mind, time is more important than money. And that's why, like, yeah, I plan my calendar. So it's funny when I say what would wildly successful, I get to plan that every day. So it's like, I would just love to have kids in that. That would be my ideal. That'd be my perfect, wildly successful day. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's that.
I reckon.
We're done? We're done for the first one? What are we going to call this?
I don't know. We'll work it out at some point.
We had no idea what we're going to call this video, might I add. So I guess
I don't know. It really doesn't matter what we call it because everything's made. Like, McDonald's is a shit name. It's actually the name of a Scottish restaurant if you really think about it, but it's an American burger joint. So we'll work it out at some point. I really liked the pursuit of whatever it's called that we said earlier.
Pursuit of happiness?
No, the pursuit of whatever I said earlier, but you were like, that's the name of a podcast. And I was like,
I thought you said the pursuit of happiness. That's a movie.
Yeah, I know that.
Pursuit of what?
Greatness. The pursuit of greatness.
I feel like that's
you said that's the name of a podcast. Yeah.
We're trying. We'll get there. We'll name it something. It'll be a segment of some sort. But guys, thank you so much for watching.
We could call it 3 ways.
Fuck.
Because you get paid 3 ways. Money, reputation, and lessons. 3 ways.
It's a genius idea. I'm just.
I tell you what, you get some fucking viewers.
I'm not even gonna. God, thank you. Anyway, guys, that wraps this up. Look, if you are here, if you're at this point and you're watching if you're watching this man with a stupid Alpha Blokes hat talking smack about 3 ways, thank you and subscribe. I'd assume you're going to subscribe by now.
For sure. If you made it this far, you'd be in.
You'd be part of the. You're part of the cult.
They're cult.
It's part of the cult. You're now in the pursuit of. Great. greatness? Is that what you called it? Or the three ways? You're the three ways cult.
The pursuit of a three-way.
Oh my God. Guys, we're going to wrap this one up because it ain't getting any better. It ain't getting prettier. Guys, Josh Merchant, Andy Pater, thank you so much for watching. If you're this far, please like, subscribe. Please comment. What do you want to see in the next video? Is there any questions you have for the viewers? Andy, do you want to sign off with anything you want to tell them?
No, I really don't. God bless America. God bless beers. God bless beers. We'll go with God bless beers.
And thank you guys.
That's the name of the podcast. God bless beers.
Get down to St. Andrew's Brewery. Grab yourself the Strapper. Not the Strapper, the Strapper. Jeez.
That's not a bad name for a podcast.
The Strapper.
God bless beers. I don't know. We're going to talk about God a lot.
I just thought the Strapper. I don't know why that came up. And if you want the pizza, guys, wait, we didn't give it a verdict. What did you think?
I think I said 8.2. It was great.
No, that was the beer. I'm talking about the pizza.
That's the best takeaway style pizza I've ever had. I would give that I don't want to go too high, so 8.9.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
The best takeaway, Slim's Pizza in Mount Eliza.
To be clear, not a wood fire style pizza. It's a takeaway adjacent pizza. 8.9.
I'd give it a 9.2. And I do believe you're right. It's a hybrid between a wood fire and a takeaway yummy, like
if you invited me over for a footy night and you got me wood fire gourmet pizza, I'd be like, this is a bit gay.
But this is...
You got to get like great. A La Lupa style, like chain pizza. Like a boys' night is chain pizza. If you got this is the best of the chain pizza.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like a takeaway.
It's a 9.2. It's up there, guys. I love it. Slim's Pizza, 9.2. Amazing. Good beer. Good company. God bless. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.
That was good.